So there I was, standing in interrogation cell 7, staring at what was supposed to be the galaxy's most terrifying apex predator. And let me tell you, I was not impressed. Commander Thane looked like someone had put a hairless mammal through a trash compactor, then forgot about it for a week. His legs, useless. His spine joint shattered in 3 places according to our medical scans. His ship, debris, floating somewhere between the 4th and 5th moons of our tourist prime. And yet somehow, this broken creature still had the audacity to smile at me. "You think this is funny, human?" I clicked my mandibles together, a gesture that typically made lesser species evacuate their waste compartments. "You are paralyzed, finished. Your crew is dead. Your precious Earth will never even know what happened to you." Thane's smile widened, blood crusted at the corner of his mouth. "You know what's funny, Krill? That's your name, right? What's funny is that you actually believed." I wanted to rip his throat out right there, but Commander Varys had been very clear in her orders. Extract information first, execute later. The Vero, the Empire, needed to know Earth's defensive positions, their fleet numbers, their supply routes, and this broken sack of meat was going to tell us everything. "Humans," I muttered, circling his restraint chair. "So fragile. Your bones snap like dried kelp stalks. Your organs rupture from impacts that would barely bruise a Vero child. Tell me, how does it feel knowing your species sent you out here with such inferior engineering?" "Oh, you know," he coughed, wincing. "Could be better, could be worse. At least I'm not the idiot who thinks breaking someone's back means you've won." The audacity, the sheer unbelievable arrogance of this crippled fool. I leaned close, letting him smell the sulfur on my breath. "You cannot even walk, human. You will die in this chair unless you cooperate. Your paralysis is permanent. Your species does not regenerate like this. And sorry, you do not have backup neural systems like the Jarracrows. You are done." "If you say so, buddy." Then he closed his eyes, still smiling that infuriating smile. "If you say so." I left him there, sealing the door with perhaps more force than necessary. Let him stew in his helplessness. They always broke eventually. Always. 3 cycles earlier, everything had gone exactly according to plan. Well, almost everything. The human ship had been exactly where our intelligence said it would be, running a standard patrol route near the Terminus Nebula. The vessel was small, lightly armed, crewed by maybe 20 humans at most. Easy prey. We had 40 warships. The Vero, the Empire, does not believe in fair fights. "All batteries, fire at will," Commander Varys had ordered, her voice calm as morning frost. The human ship tried to run, of course, they always did, but their faster-than-light drive took precious seconds to charge, and we had those seconds measured down to the microsecond. Our plasma cannons tore through their shields like paper, shredding the hull, cooking the interior. The ship went dark, tumbling through space like a dead fish in an ocean current. "Boarding teams move in," Varys commanded. "I want prisoners. Earth needs to learn what happens when they refuse our territorial claims." I had led the first team through the breach in their hull. The interior was a mess of sparking wires, floating bodies, and that distinct smell of burned meat that humans produced when exposed to hard vacuum. We found survivors in the medical bay, huddled behind emergency force fields. Most surrendered immediately. Most, not all. Commander Thane had been in the reactor room, trying to overload the core, trying to take us all with him. Noble, stupid, very human. My team had hit him with neural disruptors, kinetic rounds, everything we had. The final shot, a plasma bolt, caught him in the lower back, severing his spinal column as he fell 3 levels down a maintenance shaft. When we dragged his limp body onto our command ship, I remember thinking, another broken human, another victory for the Vero, the Empire, another step toward conquering this pathetic species. I had no idea how wrong I was. 6 hours into the interrogation, Medical Officer Zant called me. "Krill, you need to see this, now." I found him in the medical wing, all 4 of his eyes fixed on a holographic display showing Thane's vital signs. Something was wrong. The readings were fluctuating in ways that made no sense. "What am I looking at?" I demanded. "The human cellular activity," Zan said, his voice trembling in a way I'd never heard before. "It is increasing exponentially. The damaged tissue, the vertebrae we shattered, the nerve bundles we destroyed, they are rebuilding." "That is impossible. Humans do not regenerate such injuries." "I know what humans do and do not do, Krill. I have dissected 17 of them, and I'm telling you this one is healing. Slowly, yes, but healing nonetheless." I stared at the scans. Zant was right. The fractures in Thane's spine showed signs of calcification. New bone was forming. The severed nerves were reconnecting. How? I have no idea. Either this human has some kind of genetic modification we did not detect, or... Zant paused, mandibles clicking nervously. "Human medicine is far more advanced than we thought. Run a full scan, deep tissue, molecular level. I want to know what's in his system." The results came back 20 minutes later. Thane's bloodstream was flooded with nanomachines, millions of them, each smaller than a red blood cell. They were everywhere, repairing tissue, rebuilding bone, reconnecting severed neural pathways. Sophisticated, elegant, terrifying. "How did we miss this in the initial scans?" I asked. "They were dormant," Zant said, "inactive until his injury triggered them. This is military-grade regenerative technology, Krill, the kind of thing that costs more than our entire medical wing. Every human soldier might have this. They cannot all have this, the expense alone. What if expense doesn't matter to them? What if Earth has resources we can't even comprehend?" I didn't want to think about that. Couldn't think about that. The entire Vero the Empire strategy depended on humans being weak, fractured, resource poor. If that assumption was wrong, an alarm cut through my thoughts. "Security breach, detention level." "No," I whispered, already running. By the time I reached detention level 3-5, guards were dead and 3 more were missing limbs. The human prisoners, the ones we had assumed were cowed and broken, had somehow acquired weapons. "How?" I screamed at the surviving guard, a young officer named Praxis, who was missing his right arm. "They took them from us," Praxis gasped, green blood pooling beneath him. "We thought they were weak, injured, but they moved so fast, Krill, so impossibly fast. And they laughed. They laughed while they killed us." I checked the security feeds. Praxis was not exaggerating. The humans, despite their injuries, despite being outnumbered, had systematically dismantled our guards. They moved with a coordination that spoke of extensive training, using our own station layout against us, turning every corner into a kill zone. And at the center of it all, coordinating the escape through some kind of subdermal communication system we hadn't detected, was Commander Thane. Still strapped to his interrogation chair in Cell 7, still unable to walk, but very much in command. "You fool," I breathed, watching the security feed. "This was your plan all along." Thane's eyes opened. He looked directly at the camera, directly at me, and winked. Then every light on detention level 3 went dark. Emergency lighting kicked in, bathing the corridors in angry red. I could hear weapons fire, screams, and something else. Laughter. Human laughter echoing through the halls like a predator's haul. "All units converge on detention level 3, I barked into my communicator. "Deadly force authorized. Kill every human you see." "Krill," Commander Varys' voice crackled through the command channel. "What is happening down there?" "The humans, Commander. They were not broken. They were never broken. This was a trap." "That is impossible. We destroyed their ship. We verified there were no other vessels in range." An explosion rocked the station, then another, then 6 more in rapid succession, each one closer than the last. "Hull breaches on the starboard side," someone shouted over the command channel. "Multiple breaches. Ships incoming. Human ships." I felt my blood turn to ice. 30, 40, too many to count. "Commander, they were buying time. The entire interrogation, his defiance, his broken spine, all of it had been a delaying tactic while his people mounted a rescue operation.
And we had been so confident, so certain of our superiority, that we never even considered the possibility. I ran back to interrogation cell 7, my weapon drawn, ready to execute the human and be done with this nightmare. The cell was empty. The restraint chair had been cut open with a plasma torch, and on the wall, written in what I very much hoped was not guard blood, was a message: "Thanks for the hospitality. See you soon." The station was chaos. Human Marines were pouring through the breaches, heavily armed, heavily armored, and absolutely merciless. They moved through our corridors like they owned them, clearing rooms with mechanical efficiency. Every defensive position we established, they flanked. Every ambush we prepared, they anticipated. It was humiliating. I found myself pinned in a maintenance tunnel with 6 other survivors, listening to the sound of human boots getting closer. My communicator was filled with screams,